Shalom Israel. My name is Officer Kayadwan out of I.S.U.P.K, Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K started 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K is run by Commanding General Yahanna, the one man with the rank and the authority to lead Israel at this time. I say Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai Barakatam to my brothers, Yahweh Shamar Alatan Basham Yahweh Shai to my sisters. Alright, so we're going to talk about a few topics today. We're going to talk about the JDF and the JCF, which is the police force here in Jamaica and the military force here in Jamaica, joining force. You understand? The so-called fight crime. You know what I mean? And we're also going to talk about scamming, you know what I mean, reaching into the, what I call it now, the higher echelon society, you know what I mean, the uptown region, so to speak, you know what I mean. So now more emphasis has to be put on fighting, scamming, you know what I mean, than before, you understand? And as well, we're going to kick it off with talking about Valentine's Day and how evil it is. And, you know what I mean, if you know what I mean, claim that you want to serve the Most High, you can't celebrate Valentine's Day because Valentine's Day is not of the Most High. You know what I mean? It have pagan origins. It have, you know what I mean? It is rooted in idolatry. You understand? So, without further ado, just like this video, share, subscribe to this channel, right? So, firstly, we are going off in the Valentine's Day to make you know where it started. So, you know what I mean? The name Valentine's come from, you know what I mean, a Catholic, you know what I mean, Pope, Roman saint, so to speak, Saint Valentine. He was born, he was a 3rd century Roman saint, or so-called saint, because we know the saints are the Israelites, are repenting Israelites. So these Roman Catholic, you know what I mean, Pope and saints, they are not real saints, you understand? Right? Commemorated in Western Christianity on February 14th. So that is where you get the 14th of February celebration from, Saint Valentine's, you understand? So now, watch this. I will show you where the culture, the custom comes from. The custom comes from a celebration, an ancient pagan celebration called Lupercalia. You understand? And when you say you're celebrating Valentine's Day, this is what you're really celebrating, Lupercalia. You understand? Lupercalia was a pastoral festival of ancient Rome observed annually on February 15. Notice the slight date difference, but hence the reason why they put it 14, because they rename it Valentine's Day, you know what I mean, after Saint Valentine's, and then put it on the day when he was commemorated, which is February the 14th and not the 15th like it normally was celebrated, you understand, to purify the city, promoting health and fertility, you understand. Lupercalia was also known as Februatus, Slovakia, after the purification instrument called Februa, the basis for the month named Februarius, which is February, you understand? The festival was originally known as Februra, purification or purgings, after the Februum, which was used on the day, right? It was also known as Febratus and gave its name various as epithel to Juno Februalis, you know what I mean? So we skip past that, right? The name Lupercalia was believed in antiquity to evince some connection with the ancient Greek festival of the Arcadians, Lachaia, you know what I mean, a wool festival, you know what I mean, bear in mind that wool festival and the worship of Lycian, Pan, you know what I mean, which we all know about Pan. Pan is that, you know what I mean, that pagan god that float in stay young forever, you understand? Assuming to be a Greek equivalent to Faunus as Slovakia as instituted by a vendor. Justin described a cult image of the Lucian god, whom the Greeks called Pan and the Romans Lupercus, as nude save for the goat skin girdle. You know what I mean? That's why you get the Cupid, you know what I mean, the nude flying angel, you know what I mean, with the one little thing I cover him, you know what I mean? And when the Romans, them love the naked baby image. That is why them portray the angels as being naked babies. You know what I mean? All right. The statue stood in Lupercal, the cave where traditions held the Romulus and Remus were suckled by the she-wolf. All right. So this is where Rome gets its history from, saying that, you know what I mean, the so-called founders of Rome, you know what I mean, were murdered by a wolf, like by a dog. So them get breastfeed by a dog. Two white person getting breastfeed by a dog. That is their, you know what I mean, myth about their history. You know what I mean, which is disgusting. You understand? The name of the festival most likely derived from lupus, which, you know what I mean, wolf, to both the etymology and its significance are obscured, despite Justin's assertion no deity named Lupercus has been identified. All right, let me find how they celebrated this thing. All right, sacrifice. At the Lupercal altar, a male goat or goats and a dog were sacrificed by one or other of the Luperci under the supervision of the Flamen Dialis, Jupiter, chief priest. So we know Jupiter is, you know what I mean, a long time ancient pagan god that the Romans and also the Grecians, them celebrate, which the Bible speak out against. I will go jump to some scripture. You know what I mean, just to show you that this is all idolatry. It has nothing to do with love, you understand? If anything, it has something to do opposite with the love between a man and a woman. You know what I mean? A lot of homosexual custom in it and thing. You know what I mean? An offering was also made of salted meal cake prepared by the Vestan virgins. After the blood sacrifice, two Luperci approached the altar. Their foreheads were anointed with blood from the sacrificial knife, then wiped clean with wool soaked in milk, after which they were expected to laugh. All right. Salakia. All right, so we're not gonna get too deep into that. If you want to get the, you know what I mean, the deeper gist of it, just check yesterday's class, and my brother Abadawan went deeper in it. So we're gonna jump on to the next topic, right? As a matter of fact, let me just cover some scriptures to make you know that the Most High is not with the celebration of, you know what I mean, Lupercalia, which you call Valentine's Day. You understand? It's really Lupercalia. You understand? And you know what I mean, by now, you're supposed to know, so we are the place where you can come and learn the history of these holidays and why they are so evil. We already show you about Christmas, New Year's Days, Easter, you understand, which is coming up, which, you know what I mean, they are going to get ready to celebrate. You know what I mean? We give you the history on that and show you that these are all idolatry. You know what I mean? But we point you to the holy days that the Most High said the children of Israel are supposed to celebrate, which is Passover. We have Purim. Purim starts tonight. You know what I mean? So you can just tune in. General Yohanna will be hosting. You understand? Just tune in. You understand? Go to I.S.U.P.K headquarters. You know what I mean? Or I.S.U.P.K online and YouTube. You know what I mean? And you can watch the Purim beginning Senate ceremony hosted by Commanding General Yohanna. You understand? All right, we'll read a scripture to let you know what the Most High said about these idolatrous holidays. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33 and verse 7. Why does one day excel another? And this is a question, you know what I mean, that the Ecclesiasticus is written by, you know what I mean, Solomon. You understand? So Solomon, the wisest man to walk the face of this earth, you know what I mean, after Yahushua, is asking a question. Why does one day excel another? You know what I mean? Why is, you know what I mean, Valentine's Day more important than the day before, which was just a regular day? You know what I mean? When as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun. So every day of the sun, every day the sun come up and every day the sun go down. So why one day is esteemed above the next? You know what I mean? It is the Most High who gives any day, you know what I mean, esteem over our next day. So the Most High never give Valentine's Day any kind of esteem. You understand? It was the Edens who did that. So Valentine's Day should just only be a regular day, but a day like the Passover, you understand? The Feast of Unleavened Bread, You know what I mean? These days are esteemed because it is the Most High who esteem them. Continue reading. Verse 8. By the knowledge of the Lord they were distinguished. So now the Most High is the one who distinguished day different from day. Which day is a special day or a holy day, and which day is not a holy day. You understand? Not man. We can't do that for our own. You understand? So when them give Valentine's Day and say you must celebrate it because it is the day of love and all them things there. Where did the Most High say that? The Most High never said that. You understand? You celebrating, you buying your, you know what I mean, wife or woman, you know what I mean, chocolate and roses on today means you're celebrating idolatry. You're celebrating Valentine's Day. You understand? So in other words, you're saying what the Edens established, you will adhere to. You know what I mean? And disobey the Most High. Salakia. Continue reading. And he altered seasons and feasts. So the Most High gave us seasons and he gave us our feast days. You understand? It is the Most High who did that. You know what I mean? But of course, we know the Edens will give us different days. You understand? Days that have nothing to do with the Most High are the children of Israel. So, and we know that Valentine's days, it only consists of a lot of, you know what I mean, adultery, you know what I mean, and whoredom. That is what this day promotes, and it has nothing to do with the Most High. Let me jump to another scripture. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2 to 3. Verse 2, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the Edens. So the Most High make you know, say, don't learn Lupercalia. Lupercalia come from the Edens. Who are the Edens? The Greeks and the Romans. You understand? Don't learn them custom. Learn not their way. Continue reading. Right? And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. Mean, you know what I mean? When you see the star them in the sky, don't worry about them. Don't say you're an Aquarius, you're a Capricorn, you're a Gemini, you know what I mean, and govern your day. Or you have a function for the day based off of the stars of heaven. The Edens, them do that. We are not supposed to do that. The stars are not there for you to, you know what I mean, govern your affairs. You know what I mean? So don't be dismayed at the stars of heaven. Continue reading. For the Edens are dismayed at them. That is the Edens custom to look at the star and say, him see a man with an arrow, or him see a bull in the star. When, you know what I mean, with your own two eyes, you would never consider that two couple stars come together look like a bull. You know what I mean? But the Edens, they are dismayed at that. They are the ones that invent all these things that we know, you know what I mean, find ourselves practicing over here in this captivity. You understand? The Most High say, oh, no, don't go into all of that. You understand? Continue reading. Slack you. Verse 3, for the custom of the people are vain. So the Most High, you know, say, you know what I mean, Valentine's Day vain, brethren. It now have no kind of meaning. Because if you can't give a woman a gift on Valentine's Day, she will get it elsewhere and she will play the whore against you. You understand? Because you never give her candy and rose. You know what I mean? Which says what about your woman? That she's a whore. And if you can't give her a gift, she would be somebody else's woman. And rest assured, many of your woman is getting gift from, you know what I mean, so many different donors or donators. You know what I mean? And which whoever give her the biggest gift is the one who she's gonna pleasure pan Valentine's Day. Is that they are whoredom. You understand? And the Most High is not with it. Continue reading. Right? For the custom of the people are vain. It is vain. It not no meaning. It is nothing. For one cut it a tree out of the forest. I know it are going on Christmas, but we know that not only Christmas, but also Valentine's Day, and also Easter, and also New Year's Day is all the customs of the Edens. You understand? So the Most High make you know, say you as the children of Israel, don't go into these practices. I should really read, you know what I mean, verse 1, Jeremiah 10 and 1, and tell you who the Most High is talking to. You understand? Because when the Most High deal with we, him not deal with the Edens. And we might talk to verse 1 say, hear ye the word which the Lord speak unto you, O house of Israel. So the Most High is dealing with us. So he might talk to we, he might say, learn not the way of the Eden. Who are the Edens? Every other nation on the face of the earth who is not the Israelites. You understand? Their custom is Lupercalia or Valentine's Day. They are the ones that invented this. The Most High said, don't learn them things. All right, so we're going to jump in at the JDF and, you know what I mean, we're jumping at the JDF and JCF coming together in the name of fighting crime, which, you know what I mean, is really hypocrisy, because we know how this crime got out of control in the first place here in Jamaica. You understand? We know that is the same, even the same political party. Let me go as far as to say that. See? Even though both political parties are involved in the destruction of the Benjamites here in Jamaica. Two of them. See? It is this political party who is now, you know what I mean, trying to stem the crime problem and the murder problem, who is the major, you know what I mean, factor where it comes to us, our people, going into a life of crime. They are the ones that supported the dance and carrying guns in the garrison. You know what I mean? Tivoli Garden. It was under their watch. You understand? And now they are the ones trying to we call it now, to quell the thing that they created, which the other party also, you know what I mean, was heavily into that as well. And they separated us other people and gave us the culture of crime and violence with the help of the CIA. And we can't stress that enough. With the help of the CIA, these political parties divided us as a people and made us criminals and murderers. And now these same political parties are going to come, you know what I mean, solve our problem. The only solution to our problem here in Jamaica is to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments in the Bible. There's no other way. Come back to our culture as the children of Israel and start keeping these laws. And the only place where you learn back your culture is in the I.S.U.P.K and a commanding General YAHANNA. Here is the only place, not a Christian church. You know what I mean? Definitely not that place. So this same political party now want to be the solution for crime. And now they are going to join the police force, who has always been an oppressor of our people, along with the military, which belongs to the Queen. Both the police force and the military belongs to the Queen. So what are they getting ready to do? Not more than to oppress us. You understand? Instead of putting into place things that can solve the problem that causes crime. Now they want to be the combatant of crime that they started. To be honest, if they really want to solve crime, they would have get rid of themselves, because they are the ones who started it. You understand? Let me just jump into a video though. In the meanwhile, remember to like this video, share, comment, leave, you know what I mean, leave on comments, an agreement or a disagreement.
This evening, Jamaicans are being warned against harboring criminals who may be seeking refuge as the country's latest crime-fighting unit begins to apply pressure on them. The Joint Anti-Gang...
Let me do that again, just to make sure that the sound was, you know what I mean. Just want to make sure that the sound is being, you know what I mean, recorded. You understand? Yeah, man. Just want to make sure I hear the audio. All right.
Up first, this evening, Jamaicans are being warned against harboring criminals who may be seeking refuge as the country's latest crime-fighting unit begins to apply pressure on them. The Joint Anti-Gang Task Force was officially launched on Friday. And given the imminent surge in police military operations, the Chief of Defense Staff is promising to respect human rights, but stressed the security forces are prepared to defend themselves.
They are promising to protect human rights, but we know that in the garrison, our human rights is never important. You understand? We get the most disrespect from police. You understand? From our own people who join that force, thinking that their people is the cause of the problem that they produce. You know what I mean? Working for the people who cause the problem to stop their people from just, you know what I mean, doing the things that they are forced to do. You understand? You know what I mean? Almost like an occupation. Police abuse, all of them things they take place in the garrison. They never, you know what I mean, respect our human rights. Just to put that in. Slakia.
We have the details in this report.
We are determined that Jamaican people are going to be safe.
An assurance to law-abiding Jamaicans from the police commissioner as the security forces undertake the latest mission to dismantle criminal networks. Speaking at Friday's official launch of a joint anti-gang task force, Major General Anthony Anderson explained that the unit has been in operation for 1 week and has so far arrested 20 men involved in lottery scamming and other crimes, recovered 7 illegal guns, and stopped an illegal alcohol business that was funding a gang.
It is not bound by any particular geographic space, but will move fluidly across the country to interrupt gang activities, to disrupt and deter those, to recover firearms or seize firearms, and also to focus on those people who are intent on creating death, mayhem, and pain in our society.
The task force will depend on other arms of the security forces for support, but most of the operational personnel were specially selected.
We have recruited some 70 plus persons, young Jamaicans, who had gone through the Jamaica National Service Corps program. They trained for a year or so as soldiers, and then we recruited them and ran them through the entire police training program. So these are qualified soldiers, qualified police officers, and they make up part of the task force and are familiar and comfortable in both the military environment and the policing environment.
The leaders of the task force were also specially trained and graduated in December.
The military personnel in this task force has been specifically selected to work with the JCF team. They are trained in human rights, and they're also very familiar with the rules of engagement. So we will ensure that the rights of each citizen is respected whilst these operations are being conducted. However, if faced with a threat, the appropriate actions will be taken to defend themselves.
Right. In other words, if faced with a threat, not necessarily a threat, it's just tough talk for make you know, say, we are prepared to kill. You understand? That is what she's really saying. If faced with a threat, whatever they consider a threat, they are prepared to kill, to be judge, juror, and executioner. You know what I mean? And with the Prime Minister now saying that harsher measurements is coming into play for, you know what I mean, anybody found with an illegal weapon, you know what I mean, minimum of such and such life, not life, death sentence. No, you see that the police is now gonna get impunity to do whatever they want. You understand? Because if you are caught with a illegal firearm, see, and the first, you know what I mean, punishment for that is the death penalty. What you think the police are gonna do? Remember, say our police already have, you know what I mean, have this custom of putting people to death. What you think them are gonna do when them know say, yo, you are found with an illegal weapon, which is a death penalty offense. Them just gonna put it to death and said you resisted, you know what I mean, or them come under fire, as they have always been saying. You understand? So this is just lies for the police and the soldier go out and kill. You understand? I'll jump to another video and then we're gonna cover a scripture. You understand? In the meanwhile, remember, like this video, share. You understand? And as we said, them can't solve crime because them corrupt too. Many of them are criminals themselves. You understand? And if they are not, you know what I mean, gunslinging gang member criminals, rest assured that they know who the white collar criminals are and who the government criminals are, and they never arrest them. You understand? But the poor who they force into a life of crime is who they think they need to eradicate. You understand? All right, we'll jump into another video where, you know what I mean, and we are not condoning murder or crime, don't get it twisted, We don't condone murder, you know what I mean? We tell the children of Israel that they should come back to the last statutes and commandments of the Most High, which says murder is a crime or a sin. See? We don't want our people to be criminals, because by being a criminal, you fall into the trap of this oppressive system. That is what we are saying. But we are making you know that they are getting ready to, you know what I mean, go hard, go heavy and on. You understand? Because they don't know how to quell, you know what I mean, the problem that they started. Now they are looking to execute us. You understand? That is what they are getting ready to do. All right. Let me jump to this video now. All right, so this video is going to talk about, you know what I mean, the new laws that Andrew Holness is now implementing harsher penalty for illegal gun possession, right? And this person, you know what I mean, you're going to see him shortly, I'm going to advocate basically slavery. When you check it, he's going to advocate that the penalty for having an illegal firearm is equivalent to you serving slavery. May I show you? You understand? Remember to like this video. Slacky, hopefully you're the right video. Yes, this is the right video.
About the proposed legislative changes around legal and illegal firearms and ammunition in Jamaica.
Right.
Dwayne Anderson has this report.
Security consultant Robert Finzi-Smith says the proposed...
That's the person, security consultant, Robert Finzi-Smith. You understand? You hear what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I don't know if this is an Israelite brother or is a heathen, you know. But what he said is so evil. Basically, what he's recommending for, you know what I mean, having a firearm, an illegal firearm, is basically going put them back in a chains, in a slavery.
Mandatory minimum 15 years for persons convicted of illegal possession of a firearm is too lenient, considering the damage gun crimes cause families. In an interview with our news center on Saturday, Mr. Finzi-Smith also expressed concern that some gunmen would still be in the prime of their youth after becoming eligible for parole.
And this footage that they are showing right here is when the Chinese man got killed. You understand? See? This is what helped to fast track this, you know what I mean, harsher penalty, you know what I mean, for gun offenses, for, you know what I mean, having an illegal firearm. They are basically showing you what is their motivation to go hard upon you. If you threaten any of these heathens that are up above you in this wicked place that we are now in, is when they will, you know what I mean, pull out all the stops to come up against you and to eradicate you. You understand? If you threaten the status quo of the heathens ruling above you and you taking your crime and violence out of the ghetto, out of the garrison, where if you are just in the garrison, you're killing each other, not a problem. But once you step out of the realm of killing each other and start killing the heathens, now it's a problem. Now legislations have to be put in place, and now the police and the soldier have to join forces. You understand? That is what you're seeing right now. You understand? And I'm not advocating anyone murdering Chinese people or any other heathens. I'm just telling you that you are the nation that is not desired. It is okay when you kill each other. It is okay when you kill each other. Right? But it is never okay when you step out of your realm and say you know what I mean, you go be a threat to any one of these heathens. You understand?
He believes that some could therefore still return to a life of crime.
The average gunman these days is between 15, 16, 17. So start at the baseline. At 15, after getting 15 years, when he re-emerges into society, he'll be 30 years old. Still young enough and old enough now to create problems. If you're going to lock up somebody, lock them up.
Mr. Finzi-Smith reasoned that persons convicted of illegal possession of a firearm should serve at least 25 years in prison before becoming eligible for parole.
And 25 years based on certain behavioral patterns and analysis as to whether or not they have reached a state of rehabilitation. Other than that, the rest of their natural life. We have enough land. They're arguing about the cockpit country. Beg a piece of the cockpit country to build the prison. One way in, one way out. And they grow their own food. If they don't, they starve.
That's slavery. You know what I mean? He's recommending getting a piece of the cockpit country, build the prison there. Right? One way in, one way out. And the only way they can eat is if they plant. They do farming. That's slavery. Basically put them back on the plantation is what he's saying. You understand? And this, if this is an Israelite, this does show you the hatred for your own people that the Christian church instilled in us. And I'm not saying crime and violence, you know what I mean, by our people is condoned. I'm saying the only way to fix our people to get them to stop committing crime and murder is to teach them their culture, teach them who they are as the children of Israel, bring them to the Bible where their culture is. Their culture is recorded. You understand? So them can know that they have a covenant to the Most High and they have to keep these laws in the Bible. But you and your policing, you know what I mean, can't solve this issue because you are the ones that started it to begin with. You understand? That can't solve it. See, it reach an extreme, you know, where him suggest put them back in slavery. In other words, put all our back in slavery. Basically, I just say it going to reach because when crime start get worse out of hand now, what them are going to recommend? You understand? So it just goes to show you that, you know what I mean, these are the people that rule over us. And this reaction does show you that they don't have any solution. They don't have a solution for crime, but we in the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General, Anna, we have the solution for crime and violence and murder. You understand? We have the solution for that. You understand? All right. We're going to jump to one last video. You understand? And then we're going to read a scripture. You know what I mean? Which is a very heavy scripture. You know what I mean? Very, very heavy. You know what I mean? Which we need to listen to this scripture. You know what I mean? We're going to jump in it shortly. Remember to like the video. You understand? Share, subscribe to this channel as well. You understand? And before we start this video, you know, we're not going to play the whole light, you know, but this is show you where crime has no reach. What they have created have become such a monster that now it is a matter of emergency to them. You understand? Because it is now reaching the Edens which rule over us, which they are servants to. You know what I mean? Which they give the opportunity to come feed off of we. See? It's now reaching them because they have squeezed the poor so much and culturalized them in crime and violence from ever since so much that we have become like, you know what I mean, like outright, you know what I mean, killers in this place. So now it will reach over to them and the heathens, and it will reach up in a feed them communities now. You understand? I'll show you how I go on.
After recent arrests of alleged lottery scammers and the seizure of a substantial amount of scamming paraphernalia, the Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, is calling on the public to take scamming as seriously as they do violent crimes.
Lottery scamming is also a significant problem in this. It provides the funds, it provides the guns that creates the government and the gangs, the things that terrorize communities and create mayhem.
But not only that, we are not condoning scamming neither. You know what I mean? The scripture says, thou shalt not steal. You understand? We not condone it. We teach our people not to do things like that. But guess what? If you cut off all source of revenues for people to do, you know what I mean, something that can benefit them and them family. If you make the Edens come to Jamaica and have all the businesses where they pass on to their children, send their children to college, university, and then ship back the money to their country, where you left the poor for do, where you left the descendants of the poor to do, or the descendants of the slave for do, but be criminals, especially when you taught them to be criminals, where you left them for do. You understand? But guess what is this real problem now? It's not that it's buying guns and we are killing off each other, you know, because we know that many political leaders are behind enough of the slaughter and thing where you see and political parties go up against political parties by financing crime. You understand? To discredit the other political party. This has been going on from the 70s. We know that. But guess what? This is the problem.
Speaking at a media briefing on Friday, Major General Anderson reiterated scammers are indeed moving to upscale communities.
That is the problem. Scammers are now moving to upscale communities, and the violence is now being, you know what I mean, found in these upscale communities. Murders that take place in the upscale communities them now. The whole Jamaica turn in a garrison. That is what them no want. Them no want you kill no Chinese. Long as you kill your own people, it's okay. And as long as you're not killing as long as you're killing the poor and not the rich. You understand? Let me play a little more, right?
However, he said it's difficult to tackle that migration with the current legislations.
Perhaps we have to do some changes in the laws around lottery scammers to deal with that. There's nothing that prevents a Jamaican citizen from going or moving anywhere in Jamaica. So you will find...
In other words, there's nothing that prevents somebody from the poorer class, if you have the money, to move up to the upper class. Unfortunately, to them. You understand?
Find as the wealth increases that they're going to be moving around, and it's a sort of crime that you can do from almost anywhere that you have a connection.
So it's a problem. So lot of scamming is now even a more problem than it was before. You know what I mean? And again, we don't condone crime. You understand? We are experts. We, the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General, Your Honor, we are experts in getting brother to stop being criminals. You understand? We are full of ex-criminals. You know what I mean? Men that have turned their life over and started to serve the Most High, not being criminals anymore. You understand? That is what we specialize in. But your government leaders, they don't specialize in that. You know what them specialize in? Executing you. We're going to read a scripture. See? And this is very important. You know what I mean? And all of the Benjamites here in Jamaica, you know what I mean? From your descendants of the slave trade, or a descendants of a slave here in Jamaica, you should adhere to this scripture because you're from the tribe of Benjamin of the nation of Israel. This is the book of Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, gather yourself together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. You are the nation not desired. Nobody likes you. You understand? You are the poor here in Jamaica. Like what, 90% of us are in poverty, live in a garrison or some poor rural community, which eventually become a garrison. Eh? We are the ones not desired. We are the ones not allowed to establish businesses. We are the ones that when we go to the bank, we can't get a loan to start a business for the most part, unless it's a taxi. We can't have nothing, you know what I mean, that have longevity that we can pass on to our children. We are the nation not desired. Hence, them push us into crime. And now they are complaining about the crime, the monster that they created. But the scripture tell you, gather yourself together. Gather together, O nation not desired. Meaning, take your heart out of this system. Take your heart out of where you see a go on here. Jamaica is a prison island. It is not here for your success. Like the scripture said, this is not your rest. You understand? You were brought here to serve slavery. You understand? This is not your home. Your home is Jerusalem. You understand? So take your heart out of this place because World War III is right around the corner and this place is going to fall with America. You understand? Take your heart out of this. What you should do? Come to your custom, your law, statutes, and your commandments in the Bible. The Bible is your history book. It's not a white man book. Come to it. Learn your custom. Learn your culture again. You understand? Take your heart. Stop celebrating Valentine's Day, which makes the Most High angry. Make your God angry. Stop celebrating Christmas. You understand? Stop being, you know what I mean, murderers, scammers. You understand? Stop stealing. You know what I mean? Stop being whoremongers and whores. Come to the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General and let we tell you how to get out of this captivity. So that when our King Yahweh forward, which the Christian church don't talk about anymore, because they only care about your money. Jesus now come again and COVID, a Satan sent it. But we know that COVID was sent by the Most High as a plague to plague this place. You understand? Come to the I.S.U.P.K. Make we show you what go on. You know what I mean? Remember to like this video, subscribe, leave your comment, share on all social media platforms. And with that, shalom.